right here. I'm back. So it is 5:30 about. So I am going to start a 24 hours of reading vlog. It is my last 24 hours before I head back to work and the insanity of being a DOE theater teacher catches up with me. So I have quite a few books planned. I know I will not read all these unless I am like, don't do anything else. And I do have a few little things I want to do tomorrow. But I'm going to go over my shorter reads. My goal for this readathon was to try to read short books. So none of these are like above 350 pages. And I think all of these are actually all paperback. So let's get into the books that I'm going to be pulling from. Reign of Shadows by Sophie Jordan, which is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce. This is a travel-themed romance, which I'm really excited for. Another one is Honey and His Shoes, A Guide to Fake Dating. This is one that's on one of my Avengers reading boards. Also, The Good Thieves is another book that is on one of my Avengers reading boards. Also, Hood, which is a Robin Hood retelling, which is also on another one of my Avengers reading farm. Girl in the Headlines, which is a murder mystery thriller. And Front Desk by Kelly Yang, which I heard really, really good things about. So, these are the books that I'm going to pull. I also did put a couple of prompts in here, like highest rated book on Goodreads, lowest rated book on Goodreads, most reviews or least reviews. So, I do also have have those as well, but I have them all in this little cup, and I'm hopeful to maybe read at least 2 books by tomorrow. But the first book I am going to choose is, highest rated book on Goodreads. Alright, I have to go do a little bit of research to figure that out, and then I will report back. Research. And ratings wise, it was really close, but Front Desk eked out Good Thieves with 4.42 by Kelly Yang. This is a really short book, but it has to do with a hotel, and I'll just read the back. Mia Ting has a lot of secrets. She lives in a motel. It's not a big house. Her parents hide immigrants, and she wants to be a writer. So I'm really excited to dive into this one. I've actually been watching Good Trouble, and there's a main character on there that has been talking a lot about Asian American issues, and this one seems like it would be a great read to sort of also read in addition to that. And it also says it won the 2019 Asian Pacific American Award for Fiction, and it's a very, very short read. It's not even 300 pages. So I'm gonna give this read a start. I'm gonna count this reading that start at 6 o'clock. I'll probably start a little bit early, but I will give you guys a progress update when I read about 50 pages. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I just want to do a little bit of a quick update for Front Desk. I did wind up reading the first 28 pages, and it is set in 1993, which if it stays in 1993 could probably fulfill my 90s requirement. But you follow this young girl named Mia, and they are from China. They have been in the States for about 2 years, but her parents, who are they're very, very well educated in China, but those career paths don't transfer over super well in America, so they're having a little bit of a hard time finding jobs, and Mia keeps getting herself in situations where she's costing her parents work. But when this older gentleman invites them to kind of take care of his motel, you kind of see that progression, and it's a little bit hard reading it because people could be very, very, very cruel to immigrants, and you see that, but you also see her really determined to make it work. I really like her as a character. I like the side character a lot. She is also an only child, and she has to work with her parents to make sure that this motel works. But you can also tell that the boss is really, really mean. Their boss is very, very mean. So it reminds me a little bit of when I read The Van Beekers of 144th Street. That the landlord in that book was super mean for the first book, and then he eventually kind of became nicer. So I'm curious to see the progression of this book. But so far, I'm really, really liking it. I do have a Zoom meetup at 9 or 8 to do with my Millennium Friends, which is a podcast I listen to. But I'm gonna try to read as much as I can, so I will read a little bit more. And when I get up to page 50, I'll probably give you guys another check-in. Bye. I'm back. It is the 8th, which means tomorrow I am going back to work. But between last night and this morning, I did wake up ridiculously early this morning just because I know I have to wake up tomorrow. And I know that if I don't wake up the day before that early, I will be a zombie at work tomorrow, and I'd rather be a zombie today. since I don't really have to do anything other than just read all day and relax and go to a yoga class. But that's a story for when I come back. But I did wind up getting up to page 76 in Front Desk by Kelly Yang. This book is just incredibly heartwarming. I love Mia as a main character, but basically they were instructed to take over this hotel, and their boss, Mr. Yao, is very, very mean and keeps changing the rules on them. And when they complain, he just says, well, you're immigrants. I can get another immigrant to take this job any day of the week. And the parents are very, very concerned. So they're trying to do all these things. And there's been some scary situations in the hotel. Also, she's kind of dealing with a new school. She's also dealing with, trying to make herself seem more impressive than she is. She's lying to a couple of her friends. But I really do like it. I also like that there's an element where her getting closer to the older residents as a younger kid. Since I was an only child, I did that a lot. I felt much more comfortable around adults just because I was around them a lot more. But I really am liking this. I also did wake up early. I worked out, but I did finish my nonfiction book. This book is going to take me quite a bit, but this is called To Marry an English Lord, Tales of Wealth, Marriage, and Sex and Snobbery. And this was the inspiration for Downtown Abbey, so I'm going to read this, and hopefully this will take me like a couple of months to get through, but it's just what I'm going to read in like the morning before I go to work. I'll read like a couple of like sections in it. So I'm going to go start this, and then I'm going to go to yoga, and when I come back, I'll check in with you guys. I'm also going to probably go up to town, get some lunch, and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to be reading this book the whole entire time. Hopefully I don't fall like I did yesterday, which was a bad, but I will talk to you guys when I get back, and hopefully with a more Front Desk update. Bye, friends. I just want to do a quick update. I am going to sit outside most of the day, to be very honest, because it is a gorgeous day. I'm also trying to catch up on my YouTube queue. I have about 70 videos to watch, and I usually watch them as background noise. So I did get to page 100 in Front Desk. This book, like a couple of other books I've read, is a little bit aggravating. Not because like the characters aren't great, but the overt racism, not only for being Chinese American, but also being African American in the 90s, is a little bit heartbreaking. And I just love Mia's point of view in the story, and Mia seeing racism for what it is. But also the relationship between her and the cops, and also her and Mr. Yao, is just so complicated. But there's also a lot of friendship elements, and there's also a lot of, stereotypes about being the best at something, or like, you should be better than her because you're a boy and she's a girl. So there's a lot of like, like racism stuff in this book, and also like sexism stuff in this book, and also Mr. Yao, I just want to like punch him in the face because he's a disaster. But I love Mia and her family. I love the setting. I also just really just like the story a lot. It's a very, very quick read. I will probably definitely finish this early today, but I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm probably going to head out at probably like 9:20 because my yoga class starts at, it's called a bar class. I've never taken a class there at that studio yet, so I want to get there a little bit early. But I'm going to read a little bit more of this, watch a couple more of my YouTube videos, and I will check in with you guys when I'm back and let you guys know how much progress I made. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Right here, I just want to do a quick check-in. It's like 12:30. I actually got pretty far into my Front Desk read as I was walking to and from town. Today I did not trip, but my bruise is nice and intense, so probably won't be bike riding for the rest of the day. That workout, it's called Bar. It's like a dancer-inspired workout, which I've always wanted to try, and I found there was a studio like really close to my house. So, but I did wind up but it was a very, very fun class. But I did wind up getting up to page 212 in Front Desk. I am adoring this book like so much. I think it's probably going to be a 5-star read for me. It deals with so many complicated issues in such a well done way. It's so nuanced, and it really talks about like Asian Americans and how much pressure kids feel, and also what parents thinks is success. But it also talks about discrimination and friendship and moving to a new town, and also identifying discrimination and identifying racism in little kids. But also it shows the kindness of strangers, or the kindness of people. And I also really like that she really wants to be a writer, even though her mom is very adamant that that's not something she should do, because she's not going to be as proficient in it as the other kids in her school. It's just a great read. It's very, very heartfelt, very, very, very heartwarming. But I'm gonna go sit outside. I'm probably not gonna take my laptop, but when I'm done with this book, I will definitely give you guys a check-in. But I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. Here I'm back. Another different angle because we got sod put down and they're watering everywhere, and I cannot find a place to sit outside, unfortunately, because I hurt my knee. I don't feel like walking up to town or like going to the park to read, so this will be the angle you guys will have. But I did wind up getting up to page 252 in front desk. This book is definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. I'm really enjoying this character so much. I think it really talks about so many important issues about immigration and discrimination and what it is to be an American when you're an immigrant. And I think that that is such an important conversation to have. There's also a lot about friendship and mild discrimination. Like, it talks about a lot of things like friendship and family dynamics and, you know, friendship in so many different types, and the kindness of strangers, and the you know, her parents working to help other immigrants and hiding them. It's just a really, really important read. And I also like that it's a very, very realistic read. Sometimes when you read middle grade, it becomes a little bit too high expectations, but this one is super interesting. And I also like throughout this whole book, she's really learning about teaching herself how to write better. And it's just a delight. Like, I really want to get my hands on the next 2 books. I'm probably going to try to pick them up in my library next time I'm there, because I think the children's section is actually closed right now because they're doing some construction. But I'm going to go finish the rest of this, and then I'll check in with you guys again. But so far, definitely a solid read to this mini readathon. But another angle. But I did want to say I finished this book. This book was a delight. I gave this book 5 stars. It was so spectacular, and it was all just about found family and friendship and discrimination and racism, and it's set in the 90s, which is a perfect prompt for one of my reading boards I need. But this book was a delight. I love Mia as a main character. I love the focus on friendship. I just loved it. I love books that you get a happy ending, and I really am excited to read book 2. I'm definitely going to add it to my TBR because this book was a delight. It was a 5-star read. I'm so happy I picked it up. I'm going to go choose my next book, and I'll check in with you guys when I make that choice. Bye, friends. I chose was lowest rated book, so I'm going to read Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce. I actually didn't start this. I read like the first 2 chapters. You basically follow this girl named Ellie, and she is convinced that the boy of her dreams is going to ask her to be his girlfriend, but little does she know he has eyes for her best friend. And that's all I've read so far, but the back like expands on it a little bit more. But I think she winds up running away to England to go on a study abroad trip. But I'm really excited to dive into this book. Again, it is like 320 pages, so I hope to make quite a bit of progress on this one tonight. And this cover is so pretty as well. So yeah, I'm going to start reading this. I'm going to read about page 50, and then I'll give you guys a quick update. But I did start this a couple of days ago, so bye friends. Here, I'm back. It is about 2:30. I think I'm going to go for a small walk and listen to a little bit of my audiobook. But I did wind up reading the first 50 pages of Hot British Boyfriend. This book is just fun. It's just like a fun, definitely like an enjoyable read. But basically follows this girl named Ellie, and as I said in the previous clip, the boy that she liked winds up dating her best friend. She feels a little bit betrayed, and she's always wanted to go to England, so she decides to run away to England on this school-sponsored trip, and it's just fun. And as someone that has been to England, like I've been there, I was there for 3 weeks when I was in college. It was like a theater trip. I just love being back in England. I'm dying to go back to traveling because it's been quite a long time, to be honest. But I just love the setting. It also reminds me of what my school looked like. I went to a small college in upstate New York, and it was very, very like old-timey. So I'm really liking it. And I just think that it's just a fun book. I know this had the lowest rating of everything I have on Goodreads. Honestly, if I put all my books in Goodreads, this book would probably be not as low rated. But I am really liking it. I'm going to take a small break. I'm going to go for a walk, and I will update you guys when I make a little progress in my audiobook, and then hopefully I can tackle a majority of this book for today. If not, I'll finish it tomorrow on the train. But I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. Taking a little bit longer of a break. It's almost like 5:30, but I do want to take a little bit more time. I'm in the middle of watching a video or something. But I didn't wind up reading anything more. of Hot British Boyfriend, but I also listened to about an hour of my audiobook for I Will Always Write Back, which is the nonfiction book that is probably my favorite nonfiction book of all time. It basically follows these two kids, and one lives in Africa and one lives in Pennsylvania, and they start as a pen pal. Like sometimes you get pen pal from another country, and their relationship just unfurls as the years go on, and it's such a sweet relationship and such a sweet friendship. And it really talks about how a simple act can change your life forever, and I really, really love that book. But when I read a little bit more of Hot British Boyfriend, I will definitely update you. I'm probably going to keep this reading vlog going. I thought I was going to end it at 7, but I think I'll probably keep going until like 9 or before, like right before I go to bed, because I did take a couple hours off to like do some errandsy stuff, pack my bags for tomorrow, make sure I'm all ready to go to work. So not emotionally ready, but at least all my stuff will be there. But yeah, so I'm gonna go watch the Kelly and Ryan episode. I haven't seen it, and I'll talk to you guys when I read a little bit more of Hot British Boyfriend. Probably when I get up to page 100. Bye, friends. I wind up getting up to page 100 in Hot British Boyfriend. I am liking this book. I do really like the setting set in England. I do like that the characters are very, very different. I am enjoying it. Like, I'll probably read it pretty quickly. It's not, I mean, I know that it was my lowest rated book, but it's a fun read. I think the travel elements are really, really fun. Also, I do like that they talk a lot about, you know, college in the future and how they're both the characters. She met a British boy, which is my lifelong dream. I love their accent, so I definitely feel Ellie's path with that. But I also she's learning a lot about friendship. She was very, very betrayed at her home, and that's sort of following her a little bit to England. But I am really liking it. It's a very, very fun read. My goal is to read at least another 100 pages before I stop reading for the evening. I would like to read at least 100 more, so that's my goal. I also am doing my YouTube queue, which is just a process. I'm definitely going to have to keep this reading vlog going just because I don't think I'm going to have enough footage for a 48-hour reading vlog. I'll probably keep it going until Friday and just give you a couple of like shorter reads because I am heading back to work tomorrow, and I hope to get a bunch of reading done on the train. Maybe if we have some downtime, we'll see, but I will definitely get some reading done. So I'm going to go read, and I'll update you guys when I read about 15 more pages, and I'll give you guys like a time check. Right now it's about 7, so. But I'm liking it. It's fun. I'm glad that I picked it up, and it's a nice end of the summer read for sure. Here, I'm back. It's about 8:02. I did wind up reading up to page 150 in Hot British Boyfriend. It's right about to hit like a climax point. The one thing I'm struggling with a little bit in this book is how much she's changing herself to like this guy, at least in the first like 150 pages, and I always struggle with that when the main character like changes her whole personality to try to make the guy like her. I've always struggled with that. But I have hopes that the reveal that I thought was going to come at the very end of the book is about to happen now. I'm intrigued enough to keep reading. So I'm going to take this to work with me tomorrow. Tomorrow my goal is to catch up on a couple of my podcasts and also to listen to a little bit more of I Will Always Write Back in the afternoon. It is my first day at work, so it's possible I will have a little bit more listening time than normal because we might be just doing prep stuff. You never know with the first day of school or the first day of back at work. It's a lot of saying hi to people and getting your information. So, but I will definitely be reading in the morning, and my goal is to make some significant progress on this and read the rest of this book tomorrow, maybe even on my commute. I will be bringing my a shorter anthology collection with me in case I finish it a little bit early. But so far it's very, very cute. For this reading vlog, I read about 450 pages. If you count my audiobook, I listened to 100 pages, I listened to 500 pages. Another check-in. It's about 8:05. I think I'm going to start reading for the night. I have reached a good ending point for Hot British Boyfriend. I read about 150 pages, so I got up to about, if you include the physical books I read up to 450 pages, and then if you count the audiobook I listened to, I definitely got up to 500 pages, which is pretty good. I wound up getting a bunch of stuff done as well, and I'm prepared to go to work tomorrow. I like this book. Right now, I'm struggling a little bit with the main character and how she's changing herself to like this guy because I think it's happening very, very suddenly and very, very quick. But the plot point I was sort of expecting at the end of the book is happening now, so maybe we will see a little bit more growth from the main character. And there was a very interesting conversation about the Harry Potter drama in this book, which I really appreciated Christie's Boyce's point of view. So, I will check in with you guys tomorrow. It is my first day of work. I hope to make some reading progress and some listening progress. So when I get home from work, I'll check in with you guys and give you guys a school update. Bye, friends. Hello, here I am back. I did survive my first day of school. It was a lot of meetings, but the good news is we did get our schedule. So it does look like it's gonna be a combination, I would say, of a schedule I'm very, very used to for the past 3 years, but also some stuff I haven't done before just because I was a fully remote teacher last year. So I was really like spent 80% of the time in my office. But the one thing I am happy about is that like I'm not teaching one class 19 times, no, 6 times a week. So I feel like it will be a little bit better that way. I have never traveled like this before, so that will be different. But hopefully, like class numbers are nice, but I need to like know who I'm teaching, especially knowing how many kids I'm reteaching. That will be really, really important information. But I didn't wind up listening to my audiobook just because I was listening to a podcast in the morning and then I just wanted to complete it. I still am a little bit farther behind, so I'll probably listen to it tomorrow. But I did wind up reading about to 200 in page 8 in Hot British Boyfriend. Have to be honest, I'm a little bit conflicted about this book, to be very, very honest. If it goes the way I'm hoping, I think I'll like this book and it'll probably be like a 3.5-star read for me. If it goes the way I don't want it to go, it will probably be like a 2-star read, just to be very honest. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling one way about the romance in this story, and I'm just curious if it's gonna go a different direction. So I am curious. I am gonna go to yoga tonight with my mom, so that's at 7. So I'm gonna try to read for like an hour. I don't know what I'm gonna watch as background noise, but I'm gonna try to read for an hour, see how much progress I can get, and I will give you guys an update. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys when I read a little bit more of Hot British Boyfriend. Quick check-in. It's almost 7 o'clock. I did wind up getting up to page 250 in Hot British Boyfriend. I am really intrigued. I think it's going to go the direction I want, but as I have said, if you have watched any of my contemporary reading vlogs or my contemporary recommendations or anything, I always fall for the wrong romance. So, Christy Boyce might be leading me astray, but I love this setting. I love that it's set in England. I just love the travel element. Um, it's just a really, really fun read. I love all the friendship stuff in this story, and I'll kind of talk about the friendship stuff at the very, very end if it goes the way I'm sort of predicting. But I am really, really liking all the setting. I'm liking the main character. She's making some choices I don't think I would make, but again, it's her character reminds me of a lot of characters I read when I first read YA, which isn't a bad thing. But I really do like the friendship dynamics in the story quite a bit, and I love the travel elements. So I'm gonna read a little bit more of it, and hopefully I'll try to give you guys an update before we head to yoga. I would love to get up to page like 300 tonight. That would be my goal. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye, friends. I did wind up finishing Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce. I did really like this book. I think I enjoyed it towards the end a lot more than the start. I think that as I realized what the author was doing, I really did like it. I love the travel elements. I really grew to like Ellie as a character, and I think Ellie dealt with a lot of things that young girls deal with when they're in their last year of high school. I also really liked the unconventional career choices that these characters wound up pursuing. That was super fun. The highlight was definitely the travel. And I think it just had a really good message about romance and friendship. Friendship was at the heart of the story as well. And I really liked it. I would probably give it like 4 stars for review. I definitely enjoyed it and would definitely read more by this author in the future. So the book I picked out of my TBR cup, and I'm probably going to read a good portion of this tomorrow, is The Girl in the Headlines. And I will chat about this tomorrow when I get home. But it is a thriller, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, so I'm excited for this, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow when I get home from work, and hopefully have some more school updates for you guys. Bye. Right here, I just want to do a quick check-in. I just got home from work. I have to do a couple of little errandy things and a couple of things for school. I'm going to try to be really good at my work-life balance and not doing stuff after work, but this is something that like I need to do, and I just ran out of time, so I'm gonna go do a couple of my little things, and then I'm gonna like actually make my rosters, put in everyone a Google Classroom, all that stuff, and it's just very, very tedious, but I just want to get it done so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm gonna go do like my errandy stuff, the stuff like for my blog and all the other stuff that's kind of important, and then I'll move on to the other stuff, because this weekend I have a couple of things planned. Tomorrow I'm going to see the movies with my dad, and then Sunday I think is just going to be a day is just sort of rest and recover, because Monday's going to be a little bit chaotic. I think I'm going to also start a weekend reading vlog for you guys, just to sort of take you guys along, but I want to get all my stuff done, so I'm going to go do that, and then I'll check in at the very end, and then I'll talk a little bit more about Girl in the Headlines, and then I'll probably wrap up this reading vlog. Bye, friends. Here I'm back. Last night and this morning, I just spent the whole day like inputting everyone into Google Classroom, answering some few emails from my students who actually checked their email, which I didn't think anyone would this early in the morning. And I also went for a bike ride. But yeah, I think I'm just going to keep this reading vlog going until Sunday, because I don't know how much filming I'm going to do this weekend or content I'm going to have. My goal, I'm also going to the movies today with my dad, so it's a little bit of a weird update. But I did wind up reading to page 72 in Girl in the Headlines. I didn't really talk about this last night because I thought I was going to update you guys later. But this is a mystery thriller. It's new. It's from the same author that wrote Truly, Madly, Deadly. It follows this girl named Andrea. She lives a perfect life, very, very idealistic. But the first chapter, she wakes up in this motel room. She's covered in blood. Her dad is killed. Her mom is in the hospital. Her brother is missing, and she's the main suspect. And she's trying to stay out of the way of the cops as she uncovers what happens, because she has no memory of what happens. I love books about amnesia. And she also starts to get close with the guy that is like works at the motel, like the front desk manager. He seems to have some secrets as well. So I'm going to try to make some more progress on this. I got to page 72. I'm really liking it quite a bit. It's a very, very fun, fast-paced read, and I'll probably tackle a majority of it today. That is the goal. But we are going to see Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie, because I know if I don't go see the new Marvel movie before I see my students, they will all spoil the movies for me. So very important that I go. But I am going to try to read a little bit more before we head out, and when I come back from the movie, I will update you guys, give you guys my thoughts about the movie, and I will also give you guys more thoughts about Girl in the Headlines. Bye, friends. I just wound up kind of going back from seeing Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings with my dad. I really liked that movie. Aquafina was definitely a highlight for me. It was super fun, and I did wind up getting some reading done as we were waiting. I also read up to page about 100 in Girl in the Headlines by Hannah Jane. I really am liking this book. It's definitely like a very, very fast-paced murder mystery, and I'm just curious to see where the story is headed right now. I'm curious also about Nate, the guy behind the counter that they sort of team up with to sort of help solve her crime. I love books about amnesia. That's definitely a trope in this, and that's a book that I like. That's a thriller trope that I do really enjoy. I'm gonna try to read this. I have a few true crime videos to watch, which I think will be perfect background noise. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go up to get pizza tonight, I think. So I'll probably take my audiobook for a walk. I have to also return a library book later because it's due on Monday. But I'm going to go read a little bit more of this, and when I get up to page 150, I'll give you guys a check-in. Bye, friends. About 2:40, I just wind up reading to page 150 in The Girl in the Headlines. I am really intrigued by this one. It's also diving a lot into Andy's past. Andy is a foster kid. She was basically placed in the custody of her parents when she was 3, but they've never legally adopted her, which I think is interesting, and I think it's a very compelling read. I really like the relationship between her and her friend that she met, Nate. But I also am really invested in the relationship she has with her brother because it's really the driving force because they can't find him and they don't know what happened to him. But I also really like that she's not only having memory issues in the present, but there's also some stuff in the past that I think is going to kind of be the reason that all this stuff happened. So I'm going to read another like 50 more pages and then I'm probably going to take a walk with my audiobook just because I haven't, whenever I bike ride, it doesn't track my steps that well. So I'm going to go for a walk up to town or around the block. But I'm going to read another 50 pages and then I'll give you guys a quick update. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. I want to do a quick update. It's about 327. I do end up getting up to page 204 in Girl in the Headlines. I'm really intrigued. It's definitely diving more into her past and like more instances of amnesia. And I'm really intrigued like where that's going to go. I'm also really liking the relationship between her and Nate. Also, her really just wanting to find her brother is such a poignant part of this story. And I'm really intrigued where that goes. There's also a lot of flashback elements happening, and it's just a really, really fascinating read. Like, I don't want to put it down. So I'm gonna watch another video, and then I'm gonna head to town and get some food, and I'll check in with you guys when I'm back. I'm also gonna listen to my audiobook. Might make some more listening progress on that, but I'll talk to you guys when I'm back from my dinner. Bye, friends. Lori, here I am back. I just want to say that I am here to wrap up this reading vlog. I did want to finishing The Girl in the Headlines by Hannah Jane. I did really like this book. I thought the ending was a little bit rushed, and I would have liked a little bit more closure, but it was a super fun read. It dealt with one of my like favorite tropes, which is amnesia and a murder. It was a really, really fun read, and I'm happy that I picked it up. Also, in this shorter reading vlog, I finished reading Girl in the Headlines, which I gave 4 stars to. I know, for Hot British Boyfriend, which I gave 4 stars to, and also Front Desk, which I gave 5 stars to. So I'm going to go start my next reading vlog, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for following me, and I will talk to you guys for my next video. Bye, friends.